Hi, it's Derrick from Knife Ship Free, and I'm here with Rob, who is the ApostleP on YouTube. And we should just be honest right from the beginning.
Right.
I paid you to be here.
Well, yeah, I've been getting a lot of flack, because people are paying me to do videos for them. And full disclosure, Derrick did pay me to do this one with a steak.
A pretty good steak, actually.
A darn good steak, actually.
So, Rob, you came up to visit us. We've been talking a year or two, something like that, and so it's finally good to get to actually meet you. And the idea of doing a video was kind of fun.
It's great to be here, and of course, since everybody knows I am a Chris Reeve fanboy,
Well, it made sense.
I should be here for
Because
this.
we actually got Inkosi's in just
Exactly.
yesterday. The first time we got them in, they were in and out before I even had my fingers on one. So,
And here they are again.
well, and as we've been talking, Rob and I kind of disagree on Chris Reeve because I loved the 25, and it would be my pick.
Right.
But Rob's definitely a 21 guy.
I am a 21 guy.
So the Inkosi is kind of a small 25. Why do you suppose they didn't name it that?
I'm a little puzzled by that myself because with a few very small changes, it looks like a scaled down 25.
So here they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a scaled down 25.
I think it's kind of cool they gave it its own name, though, because guys who watch my channel, they know I've kind of compared the 21 and the 25, and I appreciate the 25 for what it is. I kind of wish they didn't call it a Sebenza, so I'm kind of glad they gave the Inkosi its own name.
Well, and it is everything that a Chris Reeve is. I mean, it's I try never to use the word perfect because it just sets people's expectations wrong.
Exactly.
But if there's ever a perfect knife company, Chris Reeve is probably it.
Well, they didn't win all those manufacturing quality awards for nothing, did they?
No, they sure
and
didn't.
they still continue. They continue to live up to their own standard, and the Inkosi's
Which
no
is not
exception.
easy.
No,
No,
it's
I
not
mean,
easy.
Whenever they added ceramic ball and the larger pivot to the 25, and the other thing I really like is the super shallow hollow grind. I thought it was an absolute home run. They just stepped their game up one more time.
They sure did. A lot of people complained about, not really complained, but would have preferred something different than a deep hollow grind. So their large hollow, which almost appears flat.
It's almost flat.
Especially on the small knife. You get thicker blade stock, but still a thin dimension behind the cutting edge and an extremely gradual slicing bevel, primary bevel on the knife. Beautiful.
And for my viewers who aren't familiar with you, Rob is a professional knife sharpener. So as we've gone through the store and looked at things, everything is like, well, this is a little bit thicker up here and a little thinner down here, and I really hate sharpening this. And that's one of the things you liked about the 25 is that they changed that.
Yes.
That the thickness is uniform all the way across.
Exactly. And it looks like the small one's going to be the same way, the Inkosi. One thing I think that I noticed when I first saw pictures of this knife that struck me a little odd, that's different than the 25, is they changed the angle of the pocket clip. And when I saw the Inkosi in pictures, I thought, well, the clip's crooked.
Oh, we got to bring it up so they can actually see it.
I thought, well, that clip's crooked. And once you get it in hand, you understand why, especially if you've had a 25 in hand. Some guys think that the clip rides too close to the finger grooves, and just by moving that angle a little bit toward the spine side of the knife, it picks the clip up onto the solid part of the frame, and it doesn't interfere as you grip the knife. Brilliantly done, I say.
One of the things we were talking about, there's a lot of knife manufacturers out there now that if you have your fingers on the lock bar, you can't open the knife. And these are definitely not that way.
Not that way at all. Do you think it's worth mentioning that this knife's a little smaller than a small Sabenza?
Yeah, here's a small Sabenza for comparison.
Right. So it's a little shorter in handle length and in blade length too. Hard to open left-handed.
Like you said, it's a size that they don't really have. It's actually just between the small 21 and the Menandy.
Right.
Which is a really handy size.
But much more robust than an Menandy.
It is certainly robust. I mean, it has the same pivot as the 25. So even, whenever you went from the 21 to the 25, they really picked up their game on the pivot, and it's much stouter. And then to take that same size pivot and put it on this tiny knife, it's really overbuilt.
And you guys know that's my favorite word in the knife.
Overbuilt.
Overbuilt. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely going to be. You're never going to have any problems with it. That's for sure.
That's for sure. And it must have been a priority to maintain that pivot integrity, because the other hardware on the Inkosi scaled down from the 25, except the pivot, exactly the same size, full size pivot.
Yeah.
I think we were talking earlier. There's sort of a trend toward small knives that are kind of chunky and robust. I think that's what we've got with the Inkosi.
I think we do. And so this is everything that a Chris Reeve is, but it would not be my pick just because it's such a stout knife. When it comes to these smaller knives, I feel like the 21 is more elegant.
I would agree.
And I guess when you get to a knife that's this size, I want it to be elegant in my pocket.
But we're old.
It's true. It's true. We were just talking about we need cheater glasses.
Yeah. There are people who like chunky little knives.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And those people are going to be thrilled with this.
They sure will. And they're certainly not going to have anything to complain about from a quality standpoint.
I would carry this knife. It's not. Whenever I say it feels chunky to me, it's really not that much thicker than the 21.
No.
I just like the 21 a little bit better.
But you said you wouldn't choose it over a 21, but I'm not sure that's really the point either.
No,
because for a Chris Reeve guy, another Chris Reeve means another Chris Reeve I get to buy.
That's true. That's true. Now, what did you think of the finger grooves?
Well, it's a theme carried over from the 25, clearly, and scaled down proportionally. But whereas I loved the new finger grooves, especially the index finger groove on the 25, on the Inkosi, the grooves are kind of too small. If you try to grip the knife in a conventional saber grip, which might be a grip you never use on a knife this small, the finger grooves aren't especially comfortable. But when you go to a grip that you're really going to use in a small knife, kind of this overhand pinch grip, the grooves become irrelevant, except that they're an identifier for the knife.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And like you and I were talking about, I don't think that I would ever use a small knife like in this kind of a grip.
Right.
I mean, I'm always up on it like this. I've got my finger up here, which I have no idea what that finger does up there, but that's where it goes. But, opening boxes and stuff, I'm all over the knife. I'm very seldom clear back on the handle.
Yeah, I would say that's true for most of us using a small knife.
So I think it's probably primarily stylistic there. Now the second one is functional. It's fine. In the 25, I was really surprised how much those finger grooves just kind of, they just disappear. They're right.
Yes, they do.
And this one, once I get choked up, I feel like they're right as well. But that first one is kind of small.
But overall, an extremely well executed knife.
Yeah, no doubt. And we have, this is our second grouping in, and we only get this knife for about 10 more minutes because Heidi's wanting to ship it out because it's already sold.
I hope we didn't get any fingerprints on it.
Well, if we did, this knife would be way more valuable, right?
I suppose
Here,
so.
I'll touch mine and you can do yours. There we go.
Tell
Get the
Heidi not
fingerprinted
to
one.
wipe it. Not to wipe it.
I'll tell Heidi, don't wipe this knife because it's really important that they get the fingerprints.
You just wiped it.
Anyway, well, I'm Derrick, and it's good
And
to
I'm
have
Rob.
you, Rob.
Good
It's
to be
really
here.
good to have you. So, thanks for watching. And Rob's channel is the ApostleP, and if you're my viewer, you really ought to sign up for it because he does great reviews.
And if you're one of my viewers, please subscribe to the Knife Ship Free YouTube channel. It's a great way to stay abreast of what's coming up, what they have currently available, and sometimes that's pretty important because they don't stick around long.
Yeah, and we'll put links in the bottom of our video. So, thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.